my garage. We're still working on the floor. Mainly the door. Remember when I was showing you how to get the window to go up and down easily without disassembling anything? Well, I didn't even look at this side of the door. And there definitely seems to be a problem down here. I'll show it to you. Let me roll the window down first. And it goes down so nice. But now we need to come down here. So hang on a minute, let me bring you down. All right. Here is our problem. Actually probably extends more like out here. And all the way up to this seam right there. And all the way out to about here. Obviously a dent. There's actually two real heavy indents. One right there, one right there. That's a hole right there. Unknown what caused that. There's another hole over here, might be out of your picture. Somebody put a bunch of welds in it, and so it kind of looks like a bunch of worms mating or something. Now this ain't so bad a dent. It's not in there very deep, but the problem is we can't get to it from the other side. Let's turn this around, take a look. All right, this mark is indicative of where the dent is on the other side. It's about 4.5 inches down. So that dent is right here. Obviously, the window is right here now that it's rolled down. And the mechanism is right here. But this doesn't come off. The only way to get this off is to unfold the seam all the way around the door and separate the outer shell from the inner shell. I'm not going to do that. And there is no way that I'm doing that. Now if I had a dent puller, I'm not screwing holes in it and doing it the old school way with screws and then trying to pound out and then trying to fill screws. That's not going to do it for me. There's going to be 20 holes in there, and they're all going to have the metal pulled out around them because it's pretty heavy metal. It's going to be tough to get all the panel to move out where it's supposed to be again. So I think my options are limited there. I could go buy a stud gun. Now I can get one from the harbor place for about $100, but it's, you know, that's ratings are kind of, and then they charge you if you're going to return it because it doesn't work. It says right in the ad that they'll do that. So I'm not really keen on doing that, you know. And the next best thing is going to be in the hundreds, you know, $200, $300, $400 to get a good one. So I don't think I'm going to go that route either. So what do I do? What do I you know, can't reach up in there. Now I can take this contraption out, the window mechanism. I'll roll the window all the way up, loosen this up. I should be able to push this through the hole, get the whole thing to come down, maybe get the window all the way to the bottom of the door and try to reach up in here. Guaranteed my fingers aren't strong enough to push that back out where it belongs. So I think I'm going to cut a hole. I think I'm going to just right under this line, this body line here, I'm just going to carve it probably about 1/2 inch down out to about here, bring it down and bring it right along this edge and back up and just make myself a big work area. And then hopefully a little hammer and dolly and maybe a couple of wedges that I can reach in there with, or even dowels cut to the shape I need them, you know, a little what's that, concave versus convex, to fit in this shape and push it out from there. What do you think? I think that's the way I'm going to go. So I'm going to get this all set up, and you can watch. All right, we're going to get started. Let's get this glass all the way to the top of the door. Do these screws and try to push this down a little bit, and then work the rollers out of the tracks that are in here. See how that all goes. Let me get a big screwdriver. All right, first we'll try the gigantic screwdriver, and then we'll go down smaller if it don't fit. No, that's not going to work. A little smaller screwdriver. But that should be all the screws there. Oh yeah, look at that, drops right below the hole. Can you see that down here? Get down here and look at that. With the window all the way up, this drops right below the hole. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna raise you back up. Otherwise I have to duck. But now let's see if we can get the tracks out of the window, or the rollers out of the window track. I'm not sure how that will function. Maybe we'll bring them down a little bit so I can see them. Window goes down so much better when it rolls. There we go. Here we come. There we come. All right, let's see what we got here. A light would help. There's one roller. Here's the other roller. Let's see if I can just sort of roll the whole thing to one side and get a wheel out, and then maybe roll it to the other side and get the other wheel out. You guys gonna want to move on me at all? It works so. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, that worked really well. All right, there's the rollers, and all I did was just roll the whole unit this way. This wheel came out, rolled it all that way, this wheel came out. So I didn't want to take it apart, but guess we gotta. And now we can put more grease on it and clean it up, make it all pretty. We'll just call that the silver lining to having to do this. I didn't want to take it apart. The window went up and down fine. But now we got to get the window either all the way down in the door or out completely. So we'll see how far down it goes. And that is it. There's a stop in there somewhere. Well, that's not a winner. Can we tilt it one way or the other? I think we're gonna have to loosen this track or maybe take it completely off. There's some screws over here. I want to see if I can actually get it back before we take it off. Yeah, I can reach far enough over there to do that. So let's take these screws off. Hopefully the track will move enough to drop the window out. And that did not allow the track to move at all. I don't know what's holding that track in there if those screws aren't. Could be spot welds, could be rivets. Rivets. Although they don't look like they're in line with the track, there's some rivets over here. All right. I don't know why there's a stop at the bottom of this track. The window only rolls down so far. The window regulator itself has a stop on it. So I am going to get a mirror and look in there and see if I can see what it looks like. You guys got one of these? It's a mirror on a stick. I love magnets on a stick. That's mirror on the stick. We are going to see if I can see what's holding the track in place. There's the end of the track. Ah, there's a bent tab. There's a tab, and the track is, shaped like this that the window rides in. And as it comes down, there's a bent tab that's bent up right here that stops the window from coming down any further. And the groove is full of junk. So I think if I bend that tab down, clean the junk out of it, the window will go all the way down. So that's going to be my attempt. There's no screw, no bolt, nothing else holding it in. So let's go at it with a screwdriver. If I can clean that groove, I'll bend the tab, and then I think the window will go all the way down. All right, now I'll get in there with a pair of pliers or something, see if I can bend that down. Not really sure what's going to work the best in there, so I got a bunch of tools. I got some vice grips, and then I got my antique pliers, angle pliers. I love these things, really. They work good for a lot of things. But let's just try a vice grip, small one, pair on it first, and see if that'll work. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing in here. All you got to do is look at my face, which is not, I know, not the best thing to be looking at the moment, but I might just speed this up so you just look like you see me talking, but there's no noise, nothing coming out. It's out of the way with my finger. I simply bent it down. I'm not sure how I did that, but I did it. There it goes. Boy, I sure hope I can get this back up. It's kind of like I'm getting it down there, but I think it's greasy, that's for sure. All right, we've got it almost far enough. Not sure why it stopped. We'll go back up. I'm not going to put anything metal on there, but I am going to get a wooden dowel. See if I can. There we go. All right. Getting it back up might be a little bit of an issue. It's definitely sticky on the forward side. I guess on both sides now. That's all right, we've got it right here. The top of the window is right there, so that's below my cut line, or where I want to cut. I may actually move it up just a little bit more so that I completely avoid the window. All right. Got the window down as far as I need it, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mark off where I want to cut. Now, I've got some metal I can replace this piece with, but for the sake of just being a little bit of a skin flint. I'm going to try to cut this out and replace it. So I'm going to use a thin blade to get it done. Body saw, I have a body saw, but for some reason it keeps losing its blade. I haven't figured it out. But let's get this marked out first. This is where the center of the dent is coming down. And it's about 4.5 inches from the top of the door. So the dent is right about there. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be this exact. The reason I'm doing it this way is that if I mess this piece up, I know exactly the size piece I need to cut out of my steel to fill this hole. Now, if you thought of some way better to do this, you can make fun of me later, okay? Oh, that's my air saw has got a pretty thin blade. I can weld that gap, so let's try that. Right there is our dent. Dented there, there. There's a hole right there. Somebody welded around it for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, pretty big dents on both sides of this. I'm going to form this dowel to fit the ridges down here, just using a grinder or file or something. So I'll be back. All right, you guys aren't going to be able to see what I'm doing here, but I've taken this dowel and I've shaped it so it matches the shape of the body line that's in here. It's actually more rounded than the body line in here, but I'm going to be moving. The body line is about like this. You know, let's just use this as a representation. And I'm going to be walking this along as I'm pounding to push all that body line out straight in the areas where it's really indented. And then I'm going to use a block in here of wood to push the whole panel down. And we'll see how it works. So stand by and I'll show you when I'm done. You can't see anything in here, so it's just going to be boring to watch me do that a lot. So I'll show you when I'm done. Hey, there you go. You need to see this. Let me bring you in really close. All right, this is that dent we were talking about, right? These were the real deep indents right here. And I got just a little ridge on that one. And there's the hole. But I want to show you how far out this has come. Let's find my straight edge. Where did I put that? There it is. Not really a straight edge, but you'll get the idea. I'm going to put that on the door. And we can see the door's got a little bit of a crown, right? So we can see that crown down here. And we can see that here. It wobbles back and forth. And we'll come up to the line, and there is no gap there anymore. In fact, we have that little wobble. Can you see that? So that is brought out perfectly. And we'll come up here and we'll do it up here too. There we got that wobble again, because there's a crown across this whole door with the high spot right in this area here. We've got just a little low right there, but oh my God, so much better. All right, so how did I push this out? Well, as you know, we went through here. And I started just using a dowel that I had shaped. This flat edge was put on it a little bit later because this ridge right here is fairly flat, and I wanted to get that design or that shape into this. But it was rounded at first, now it's got round with a little edge. And then to spread it out a little bit more, I used a 2x4 that I rounded the top on until it fit this contour. And that spread my force out as I was pounding it, so it didn't just move out one section. Lastly, I had a chisel, and I rounded that when I was working these dents here. I even tried the end of a extension, and that didn't work quite as well as this did. So I've got a ton of chisels. This one had a flat head on it, rectangular, about 3/16 wide, and I just rounded it, and it worked really well right inside these little ridge areas, right in there from the other side, of course. So I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Next, we're going to plug the holes, if that's a hole. I'll have to look from the other side. This one definitely is. And then we'll just body work it a little bit. I've got a high spot right here that I'll push down. And man, just a little bit of filler, and it's going to be beautiful. On the inside, we're going to go ahead and put some rust inhibitor in there, converter, whatever they call it, because there is some rust up here. And then I will spray some like a undercoating in here to keep it from rusting. I did that on the bottom half, now we'll do it on the top half, and I'll show you the results when we're done. All right, I definitely have 2 holes in here. I'm going to just give a little bit of abrasive. It's not really abrasive, I guess it's abrasive, yeah. A little 3M product. Make some noise here. All right, each one of these holes have a little rust around them already, or a weld around them already. So somebody tried to pull this, I think somebody tried to pull the dent out by drilling the holes and using a slide hammer. They did not, they were not effective. I am going to put a copper spoon underneath here because the weld won't stick to the spoon. And then I'm just going to zap it a little bit. I was going to try my TIG welder from the other side, but I think I can get a cleaner result if I try it in here. So I think that's what we're going to do. All right, let's get the welders out. Actually, they're right here. Let's take a little paint for a ground. Let's find my spoon. It's down here somewhere. There it is, copper spoon. Ground clamp. That way. Well, that shouldn't splatter on the window in there. Some light in there on the subject at hand. All right, I'll tip you down. Maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. Of course, now I've got my torch wrapped around my arm. Almost. Bit of rust in there. You know what makes for a better welder? Different glasses. I'm an old guy, so I need readers sometimes. Alright, let's give that a little wire brush. Put a small one down in there. Alright, let's hit it again. Alright, we'll do that. Perfect. All right. We'll try that one. That one's bigger. All right, I'm not sure why, but it wasn't feeding wire well. Worked on it a little bit. I think it will do it now. Oh yeah. Faster than I wanted it. That's so much better. Well, that's a globby mess from when we first started welding. Weren't feeding wire good, but it's good now. So, and it's a globby mess on the inside. So who cares? Nobody will see it. Well, I care. I like them to be nice, but that isn't happening with this one. There. I knocked a bunch of undercoating loose on this when I was pounding on it. The factory stuff, so we're gonna have to empty that out of the doors here soon. All right. Yeah, this one's gonna need a little grinding. Probably can't see those. I got you pointed up, huh? This one's got a little head on it. It's gonna need grinding. Couldn't get the spoon up smooth. That one's pretty smooth, but it's on that spot that was raised up a little bit. So I'm gonna tap that down, grind that. This is the weld that was put in by somebody else. I've ground it smooth. It was all lumpy. And yeah, then we'll go to town on it and fix it up, finish it up. So I'm gonna knock that down just a little bit right now, probably. And because of its shape, I'm actually going to use redneck tool. This metal is so thick. These old trucks have got some really good steel in there. Now, I didn't do this before I welded because I didn't want to make some cracks. I didn't know how brittle this would be. And I thought maybe folding it down I might put some cracks in it. So that's pretty darn close. I'm going to check this. I don't want to push this down. There is a little divot right here. Hard to work all this little stuff out from the inside. Let me get my sander on that now. It's still a little high. I'll check, make sure I didn't knock it down any when I was pounding on it. That's still very nice. It is high right there. A little bit of a ridge or high, kind of rolls up and over right there. So this is not a body hammer, but this crown is fairly, I mean, it's all full of little marks. You see those? Those are going to transfer to the metal, but it's going to work really well for pushing that down. Or I can use my extension wherever that was, but I like the roll here right now for this. If I can reach under here, I might put a dolly back here if I can get something there. Couple of choices here, one a little bigger than the other, but this one's got a pretty nice roll on it. This one's got a square edge that I can put up against there. I think I'll almost put a dent in the door already. Let's see what I can do. Get it in there. Oh, yep. Well, I'm not directly behind this. I just want to hold this edge up while I'm working this down. Actually, right there. You can hear there'd be a different sound. If I was hitting on the dolly in there, you'll actually hear that. You'll hear the solidness of the dolly. Oh, we're almost there. Let me find my spot again. Right there. So I'm actually lifting up with the dolly, pushing it right along this ridge so that I can push this little hump down without pushing this down. All right, so that's all redneck tools from the inside and the outside, but we're good. All right. Paint's cracked right there, but it doesn't feel bad. We'll know when I'll put a little guide coat on here, a little bit of the black powder, and then do a little light sanding, and we'll see what's all up here, what's up and what's down, and take care of it. Down, I could work up from the inside, but man, that's almost just paint thickness. We're going to leave it. All right, everybody, we got the patch panel in, primered up. Not sure what color the inside of the cab is going to be yet. And I was going to declare a win. I got the regulator back in, hooked up to the window. It all went good. It rolls up just fine. Unfortunately, when I try to roll it down, it pulls the bottom piece off the window that the regulator goes into and just pulls that down. This is my disappointed face. I was gonna declare a win here on this door. Now I have to take the regulator back out, take that piece off the bottom of the window, figure out how to get the window out of the door, figure out how that piece goes back on the window, put the piece back in the door, put the window in the door, put the window into that piece, make it stay, and put it all back together. So that's another day. So you guys get out and work on your stuff, be safe, and we'll see you later.